going on, y'all? I have a lot to speak on. I actually got my Triple G hat, threw it on for the video because I was rooting for Triple G. I wanted him to win. And, I haven't worn this hat in like a year at least, all right? I had a really good time. First and foremost, the fight was an excellent fight. All right, it was a great fight. Definitely one of my personal favorites. And it's been a good year in boxing, okay? It's been a good year. It's been a lot of bullshit going on too, but, that's always the case for boxing, all right? But as far as the year, it's been good overall, okay? And this was an excellent fight. It was well worth the wait. We didn't get any knockdowns. No one got knocked out. But it was an excellent, excellent fight. I enjoyed myself, all right? Now, I thought the 118-110 scorecard was way too stretchy, all right? I wasn't mad at the draw. The decision, the actual decision, I was not upset with that, okay? I thought if that judge said 115-113 Canelo, even if they said 116-112 Canelo, I would have understood that, because Canelo overseeded my expectations of him, okay? He proved to me last night that he's legit. Like, I've had him in the top 10 pound for pound for some time now, but I thought there were fights that I thought the judges was in his pocket. Trout, I thought the scorecard was a little too wide, okay? I thought Lara beat him, okay? I thought it was ridiculous that C.J. Ross gave that fight against Mayweather a draw, okay? And now in this fight, you have another judge that saw it completely different from the other two judges, all right? But I wasn't mad at the actual decision of the draw, okay? I think everyone that's outraged is because of the actual 118-110, okay? I thought that was way too wide. And it makes it look as if this judge got paid off to say that. Like, we all expect it, We know Canelo is a star. We know he's younger. We know he have more of a future. He brings more money into the sport. We understand that. And this is why, leading up to the fight, a lot of us thought that if it went to decision, Canelo was going to get the win because of history. But I don't have a problem with Canelo, all right? I don't have a problem with Canelo at all. I've never did. I don't like Oscar De La Hoya. I don't like him, I don't like Bernard Hopkins neither. I don't like them as promoters. I just don't. Okay? I would expect their behavior from promoters, that never been in the ring. But those guys, being that they're actual fighters, I lost a lot of respect for them outside of the ring. Okay? But that's a different story. The fight was an excellent fight. Canelo did extremely well. Triple G, he did. I was a little disappointed in Triple G because I think the moment, it was too much for him. And in my last video where I spoke on this, I said Triple G has never been in this position before. Okay, he did look extremely nervous starting out, even throughout the fight. He was in a real fight again. Okay, he was in a real fight and the pressure was on. Okay, and in this fight, he couldn't just walk through his opponent again. All right, but this time, his opponent was actually landing cleaner and going to the body a lot more than all of us expected. And I said this stuff in the video, but Canelo did extremely well. In fact, I gave Canelo, I think, the first 3, maybe 4 rounds. I think probably the first 3. And Canelo was really hurting Triple G to the body. The people that I was hanging out with watching the fight, I'm telling them, Golovkin is really hurt by these body shots. I don't know why no one there saw it, but it was clear as day to me that Triple G could not take those power shots. And it slowed him down early, okay? Those punches didn't have the same snap. His jab looked very, very weak. Okay, his power shots looked very, very weak. He looked like he was bothered by the body shots. He kept coming forward, but his punches didn't have that same snap that we're used to seeing. All right, and that had nothing to do with old age. He was getting hit to the body. We saw what just happened with Kovalev. Okay, these guys are great fighters, but no one has ever gone specifically to Triple G's body like that. All right, he was bothered by those punches. Okay, and the combinations, he was very, very bothered by them. And I think, believe it or not, I scored it, even though I scored it 115 to 113 for Triple G, it was basically because he kept pushing the fight. And Canelo fought in spurts. Okay? Triple G kept it coming throughout every single round. Alright? And this is what gave me, made me make the decision that he's winning more rounds. But I was more impressed with Canelo's work. The punches were cleaner. The combinations were on point. The body shots, it looked like he had more effect on his punches. I know Triple G were taking the shots. I know he was taking the punches well. But he was getting hit with everything Canelo was throwing. And the body shots did hurt him. I saw Triple G. I watched him back up, especially early on. He was backing up because he was hurt. Okay? Listen, he has a granite chin. When you go to the body, it's not the same, man. It's not the same. And his body language, it didn't look the same. And his punches didn't look the same. Okay? He didn't look as confident. And part of that has to do with the fact that he's never fought on this stage before. Canelo has, time and time again. He's fought people that people were claiming he was ducking. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He's been on this stage before, more than once. Triple G has never been on this stage before. He's never done it, He had a tough fight against a Daniel Jacobs where most of us thought he was going to beat Danny Jacobs anyway. Most of us thought Danny Jacobs was going to get stopped. Ended up being a great fight. But this fight here, like I said in the last video, you going into the fight, they knowing that this might possibly be your toughest challenge, And I underestimated Canelo. All right, a little bit. All right, now, I'm not gonna get crazy on here, but I did underestimate him. Canelo did much better than what I thought he was going to do. Okay, he did exactly what he was supposed to do, but the execution was very, very impressive. In fact, he took a lot of punches from Triple G and never seemed to be bothered once. In fact, he looked relaxed throughout the whole fight. There were times where he was tired. Okay, he was doing a lot of movement. He was on his bike. But we know that coming in, that Canelo fights in spurts. He's not going to fight all 3 rounds. His whole thing was in the first minute of every round, he was destroying Triple G. All right, Triple G would come back, all right, missing it all. Because we got to remember, he was coming forward. He was throwing more punches, but he was missing. He wasn't accurate. He wasn't that accurate, okay? Canelo was slipping a lot of those punches, all right, and getting countered pretty easily. Triple G was getting countered pretty easily, all right? The defense was off that. I mean, listen, I thought he won based off the pressure, the activity, all right? But were they clean? Was his punches that clean? No. Were they that effective? No, I don't believe so. I think Canelo was fine. He was more tired at certain points more than anything, all right? But when I came to the conclusion that this fight was 115, 113 at the end, I said to myself, there's a lot of other ways that people could look at this fight. Now, the people there that was ruined because it was a mixed crowd. The people that was there, I was at a fight party. People that were there, A lot of them wanted Canelo to win. A lot of them left thinking Canelo lost. You know, because Triple G kept coming forward. But I understood that there's other people that are going to look at it and say, I was more impressed with Canelo's work. I was more impressed with it. It's just that it wasn't enough for me to give him, 2 rounds or whatever over Triple G. But I know the next person is going to look at it differently. All right? So with all that being said, let's talk rematch. Let's talk options. What else is going on out there? Things of that nature. Let's talk about that. I don't know what's going to happen. I saw a little bit. To be honest with you, I didn't watch all the press conferences. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to have an immediate rematch. As a promoter, as Canelo and his team, they have a lot of options. Okay. Saunders won on the same night. All right. If I were Canelo, I would fight Saunders now. Okay, obviously Saunders would pick to fight Canelo over Triple G. Okay, because Canelo's a bigger star, and it's not even about who's the tougher opponent. For Saunders, Triple G is the tougher opponent for Saunders' style. Okay, but Canelo could beat Saunders. Okay. He might have a tough time, but I would assume that Canelo could beat Saunders. If Canelo were to fight Saunders first and pick up that WBO strap, then he could fight Triple G. And it could be an undisputed match, which would be pretty good, pretty cool. All right. I just don't expect Canelo to fight Triple G again immediately, I don't know as far as Triple G. He has it tough from here on. Because the more fights you are in, the more exposed you are. And especially when you're on a downslope of your career as far as age is concerned. More people are realizing what they have to do in order to beat him. Okay? I'm sure there are other professional boxers that noticed that he was bothered by those body shots early on. Okay? So whoever's in the ring with him next, I'm sure that they're probably going to expose that as well. I know Jamal Charlo I believe he's a WBC mandatory. Okay? I don't know if Daniel Jacobs is trying to get a rematch right away. I have no idea. I don't know if Saunders is going to fight him. I don't think Saunders is as much as a threat as a Jamal Charlo or Daniel Jacobs in a rematch. But Triple G doesn't have it easy at all from here on. He doesn't have it easy. Whether he fights Canelo again in a rematch, Daniel Jacobs, Jamal Charlo, all tough fights for him. All tough fights. All fights that he could lose in a rematch. Okay? He could lose all of these fights. But I seriously doubt Canelo fights him immediately. He could. Because Canelo doesn't seem like the titles is his number one priority, He seems to like to fight who he wants to fight when he wants to fight them. Okay? So if he feels that he wants to jump right back in the ring with Triple G right away, he may do so. Or he might do that Saunders fight. Get a belt from him and then fight Triple G in May, for the Mexican holiday, or next September. Who knows? Triple G will be another year older by then. Triple G doesn't have it easy from here. I don't think Triple G will win the rematch. I thought he won this fight. I don't think he'll win the rematch. I think with some tweaks, Canelo will probably win the rematch. Okay? All he needs is a little bit better conditioning and more body work. And I think he would beat Triple G clearly, to be honest with you. I think it would be competitive again, but I think Canelo, with some adjustments, would win the rematch. Okay? Regardless of what happened in this fight, some tweaks would make him win the fight. There's nothing I saw from Triple G that would make me say some adjustments would make him win the fight. His defense was way too poor in this fight for me. It was way too poor, and I'm sorry, but Triple G actually it looked like there was points where I was actually nervous for him from being hurt. I was actually like, oh man, this guy's getting banged up pretty bad, He took the punches, but he fell back at certain points. And if I think Canelo had a little bit more energy to press the action, because I saw the end when he was saying Mexican style, he didn't fight that way. No, yeah, Canelo at times did move. He did move because he was tired. But when Canelo brought it on, and he beat Triple G up pretty bad at certain points of this fight. All right? Triple G was more consistent, though. But he was getting hit with a lot more coming forward. There was no defense. It was no defense, It was no defense at all with Triple G. I was not impressed with him in this fight. I was not impressed. I was not impressed with him. I thought he won. All right. And he did beat, in that sense, yes, he did beat a good fighter. A very, very good fighter. An elite fighter. Yes, he did. Well, I thought he beat that guy. But not in an impressive fashion to me. Okay, he got hit with too much. There were times where Canelo was on the ropes, not throwing anything, inviting him to come in, daring him to fight him. And Triple G was at points not throwing anything either. I've seen where Triple G would take over on those moments. He didn't do it. He had a lot of respect for Canelo. And that's because he was afraid to get countered. He respected Canelo's power. He was afraid to get hit. He didn't like the power of body shots. There were times where Triple G was guarding low and getting hit up top. And then he would go back up top, guarding up top, blocking, clamming up, like I said in the breakdown, that he would do. That takes time, that he needs time to reset himself. And then Canelo would go right back to the body. But Canelo wasn't consistent throughout the whole fight. His best body shots was early on in the fight. So, Triple G doesn't have it easy from here. I think Canelo wins in a rematch. Okay? Canelo, to me, even though the pressure was on, and even though he was tired at spurts at certain points of each round, he looked relaxed and he looked still in control, as in he fights when he wants to fight. He brings the fight to Triple G when he feels like it. And Triple G didn't force him to do anything. That's how I feel. So I'm not outraged. I do think that judge was probably got paid off. I do believe that. But I'm not mad at a draw. I'm not outraged at the draw at all, because I know other people were probably more impressed with Canelo, just like I was more impressed with Canelo. It's just that Canelo didn't do enough. He was this short of getting a win to me. It was close, and it was debatable. It was a debatable fight to me. It was debatable. I thought Triple G won, but it was debatable. It was very debatable to me. As far as comparing it to Daniel Jacobs, I thought Daniel Jacobs was more consistent throughout the fight than Canelo was. But I was more impressed with Canelo's work. I thought Canelo brought the fight better than Daniel Jacobs. I thought even his shots were a little bit more cleaner than Daniel Jacobs. I just thought that Daniel Jacobs, round by round, he was more impressive. He didn't fight in complete spurts like the way Canelo did. Canelo took too many breaks. Whereas Daniel Jacobs wasn't as impressive, but he was consistent. All right? Plus, you got to factor in that Daniel Jacobs did get knocked down. All right, so he lost 2 points there in that round. So you have to say that. You also have to factor that in if you're comparing these two fights. You know. But Triple G doesn't have it easy, man. I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, if he's like, he could get into an immediate rematch, or you know, he might have to fight Jamal Charlo for that WBC thing. You know, I don't know what he's gonna do. You know, really, I guess it really depends on what Canelo wants to do. You know, but I'm here for the rematch. I'm definitely down with the rematch, man. It was a great fight, and you know, I'm impressed with Canelo, man. He's still improving. You know, yeah. Canelo and his poor conditioning. Yeah, it's still a little poor, but it's, listen, when you got a guy like Triple G that's coming at you straight for 12 rounds, all right, relentless, nonstop. For a guy that's coming to you like that, a guy that's used to fighting middleweights, Canelo was able to hang in there pretty damn good, in my opinion. All right. I know this video seems like I'm just gassing Canelo and giving him credit. Well, like I told you, he exceeded my expectations. You know, he did a lot better than what I thought he was going to do. And I thought there was opportunities for Triple G to take over, but he was really bothered by Canelo's shots. You know? So, you know, that's pretty much it, man. I had a Triple G 115, 113. Very debatable fight. You know, I'm not mad at the draw. I thought it was a great fight. You know, it was a great fight. It was probably Canelo's best performance, in my opinion. You know, I would like to say that this was Canelo's best fight, in my opinion. Even with the loss or the draw, the official draw, this was Canelo's best performance, in my opinion. This is the best fighter that he's fought in a very long time, since Floyd. And he did extremely well against him. He passed the test. All right. But I want to see Jamal Charlo in the mix of this some way, somehow. I know Billy Joe Saunders is out there too, but I wasn't impressed with that fight with Willie Monroe. It was an easy win for Saunders because Monroe just didn't show up. All right. He didn't show up. And, you know, it is what it is, you know. But I think both Triple G, Canelo, or any other of the top guys I named before can beat Saunders, in my opinion. All right. Anyway, that's it. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. Anything else comes up, I'll probably do other videos on this fight later. But I got to catch up on the press conference and stuff. This is my first time to actually been home since the fight to actually talk about the fight. All right. I haven't had time all day to do it. All right. So I'm out, y'all. Peace, man.